ఉంది. లేదు లేదు సార్, లేదు, కనిపించలా.
ఇప్పుడు మేడం
ఇప్పుడు కనిపిస్తా ఉంది సార్. సార్ ఇది ఇష్టం. అరే Good morning, dear students. Last class we will discuss about the kidneys. Human beings, there are a pair of kidneys. It is bean shaped and it is a reddish brown structures. It is located on the abdominal cavity of the dorsal body wall. It is attached to the abdominal cavity of the dorsal body wall, either side of the backbone. Next, there are kidneys. The right kidney is placed slightly lower than the left kidney. Why? Because of the above the list present. Next, the position of the right kidney is lower than the left kidney. Why? Because due to the presence of liver above. Next, And the inner side of the each kidney, and inner side of the each kidney has a fissure or hilus. That is the structure name was fissure or hilus. The entry of the renal artery exists of a renal vein and an ureter. Next, renal artery carries oxygenated blood loaded with the waste products, and renal veins carries deoxygenated blood. Next, internal structure of the kidney. The dark colored outer zone is called as cortex. The dark color outer zone is called as cortex, and the pale zone of inner zone is called as medulla. Outer zone is called as cortex, and the inner zone is called as medulla. And each kidney is made up of approximately more than 1 million microscopic and thin tubular functional units, that is called as nephrons or uriniferous tubules. What are the structural and functional unit of kidneys? The structural and functional unit of kidney is called as nephrons or uriniferous tubules. Next. So, and what is the structure of nephron? The structure of nephron is basically two parts. Number one is the Malpighian body, and number two is the renal tubules. The next first one is the Malpighian body. It is blind cup shaped border, and the end of nephron is called as Bowman capsule. And this is the Bowman capsule. Next, what is the filtration unit? What is the filtration unit? Glomerulus. This is the glomerulus. The glomerulus is the filtration unit. The glomerulus is the filtration unit. Next, the Bowman capsule. It accommodates to the glomerulus. It is lined by a single layer that is called as squamous epithelial cells. The squamous epithelial cells, where is it found, ma? The squamous epithelial cells are found in, are located in the fingernails, skin, and stomach. Next, these cells are called as podocytes. Next part is the renal tubule. It has three parts. Number one is the first or proximal convoluted tubule or PCT. Second one is the loop of Henle. It is U-shaped part. It pumped to the DCT. The primary urine is passes through the loop of Henle. Next, third one is the second or distal convoluted tubule or DCT. Next, the distal convoluted tubule are opens into a collecting tubule. This is the distal convoluted tubule. The distal convoluted tubule is opens into the collecting tubule. This is the collecting tubule, and this is the loop of Henle. It is U-shaped part. Next, the mechanism. What is the mechanism of urine formation? There are four steps. Number one is the formation of urine, involves in four stages. Number one is glomerular filtration. Next, tubular reabsorption. And number third one is tubular secretion. And number fourth one is the formation of hypertonic urine. The mechanism of urine formation is involves in 4 stages. Number 1 is the glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and tubular secretion, and formation of the hypertonic urine. Next, what is glomerular filtration? The glomerular filtration takes place. The blood flows into the renal artery to glomerulus through the afferent arteriole. First, what is the importance of glomerulus? The blood flows into the renal artery to glomerulus with the help of afferent arteriole. Next, tubular secretion. What is the importance of tubular secretion? What is the function of tubular secretion? The tubular reabsorption, that means the primary urine is filtered in the glomerulus. It is almost equal to the blood. They contain some blood cells. And then the primary urine, when the primary urine is filtered, the glomerulus is reabsorbed in the useful products. And then the primary urine is passes through the proximal convoluted tubule. That means PCT or first convoluted tubule. Next, the useful products and the useful substances, that is primary urine. The primary urine is reabsorbed in the peritubular network, that is the glomerulus. That is the glomerulus. The glomerulus is the filtration unit of primary urine. The primary urine is equal to blood. They contain blood cells. They having more number of and useful substances. Next, tubular secretion. What is tubular secretion? That means after the reabsorption of the PCT, where is it? The reabsorption takes place in the proximal convoluted tubule. Next, after the reabsorption of the PCT region, that means the urine is passes through the loop of Henle to DCT. The loop of Henle is the U-shaped part. It carries urine to the DCT, that means distal convoluted tubule or second convoluted tubule. Next, some other waste like salts, ions, these are secreted from the peritubular capillaries into DCT. The peritubular capillaries, that means it is very minute structure and it is very teeny structure and it is very hair-like structure. The other ways, salts, ions, these are all the materials are secreted by the peritubular capillaries to DCT. Next one. Next, the distal convoluted tubule is surrounded by and covered by capillaries. Next, it maintains the proper concentration of urine. That means logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration. Next, the smaller secretion. The smaller secretion also takes place in the area of proximal convoluted tubule. The first convoluted tubule is also secretion part, and the small amount of tubular secretion is also takes place in the area of proximal convoluted tubule. Next, after the age of 40 years, the number of nephrons, the number of functioning nephrons usually decreases by 10% every 10 years. Next, formation. Last one is the formation of hypertonic urine. Next, our body contains 70% of water. That means 75% of water content. It is a nephric filtrate. It is reabsorbed in the region of PCT. That means the primary urine is filtered in the glomerulus. The primary urine passes through the proximal convoluted tubule, and the useful substances are reabsorbed in the PCT region. And the small amount of tubular secretion is also takes place in the PCT region. What is the function of PCT region? It is smaller amount of tubular secretion is also takes place in the proximal convoluted tubule, and the reabsorbed in the useful material is also takes place in the PCT region. Next, 10% of water is filtered through the osmosis in the area of loop of Henle. What is the function of loop of Henle? It is filtered through the osmosis process, that is the urine. How much content of urine it is filtered? Only 10% of urine is filtered through the osmosis process by the part is loop of Henle. Next, the concentration of urine takes place in the area of collecting tubes in the presence of hormone that is called as vasopressin. That means the decrease of vasopressin hormone. The hormone is secreted only when concentrated urine is to be passed out. The absence of vasopressin hormone, it produces the dilute urine. When the absence of vasopressin hormone, the disease is called as diabetes. The diabetes is two types. Number one is diabetes insipidus and number two is diabetes mellitus. That means the hormone maintains the osmotic concentration of the body fluids. That means the deficiency of vasopressin causes. The deficiency of vasopressin causes excessive, repeated, dilute urination. That means the abundance of urine we are released. When the patient is diabetes insipidus, the patient releases excessive amount of urine. The abundant release of urine and repeated urine, that is the dilute urination, that is called as diabetes insipidus. Diabetes mellitus means it is the blood sugar. There are two types of blood sugars. That there are two types of diabetes. Number one is diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. Next one is the ureter. Next part is the ureter. It is the pair of ureters. It is the color of whitish color, and it is having muscular tubes. It is 30 meters in length, and each ureter arises from the hilus of the kidney. The each ureter arises from the hilus of the kidney. That means it moves downwards and it is obliquely open into the urinary bladder. And it is open into the urinary bladder. That means the ureter carries urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder. There are a pair of ureters. Each ureter carries urine from the kidney. It is open into the urinary bladder. Next, the movement of the urine in, that is the peristalsis. We know that the peristalsis movement, it is wave-like structure. We learn about the peristaltic movement in food process system. Next one is the urinary bladder. It is the urinary bladder is a pear-shaped structure. Next, this is the ureter. Each ureter arises from the hilus. This is the hilus. Each ureter arises from the hilus. This is the ureter. The ureters carries urine from the urinary bladder. The ureters are opens into the urinary bladder. The ureters, this is the ureters. The ureters open into the urinary bladder, and it carries urine to the urinary bladder and stores the urine. That is the urinary bladder. Next one is the storage capacity of, what is the storage capacity of urinary bladder? It stores 300 to 800 ml of urine. It will be stored. Next one is the urethra. This is the urethra. It is the last opening part. This is the urethra. It It is the tube-like structure. The urethra is the tube-like structure. The urinary bladder is, the urine is outside of the human body. It releases the outside of the human body. And the opening of the urinary bladder is, that is the urethra. It is surrounded by two ring muscles or sphincters. That means it is having some wrinkle-like structures and it is some stretchable. The urethra is, it is 4 centimeters long in female and about 20 centimeters in males. That is called as vestibule. Next, the opening of the urethra is separate from the females, but it is common in the males. That is the reproductive tract in males. That is the urinogenital tract. Next last one is the micturition. The urine is stored in the bladder, urinary bladder. It is not permanent, it is temporarily stored in the urinary bladder. And it is having two sets of circular sphincters in the bladder. When the urine is filled up in the both sets of muscles, it is constricted. That means it is constricted. And the exit is closed. The muscles is relaxed. Next, the pressure of the urine increases when the walls of the bladder is stretched. That means enlarged. That means automatic reflection of the action is passes through the brain. The upper sphincter is to relax. Next, the urinary bladder is filled with 300 ml to 400 ml of urine. And the maximum capacity of urinary bladder is, how much of urine it is stored, and 700 to 800 ml of urine is stored in the urinary bladder. And what is the maximum capacity of the urinary bladder, ma? The maximum capacity of urinary bladder is 700 to 800 ml of urine. Per day, we released urine 1.6 to 1.8 liters. Next one is ESRD. The ESRD, that means it is end stage renal disease. End stage renal disease. When the two kidneys are not working completely, the disease name was ESRD. When the person, two kidneys are not working completely, that person body filled with extra water and filled with extra nitrogenous waste. Our body is swelling. That condition is called as uremia. That condition is called as uremia. And next one, that is the dialysis process, that is the artificial kidney. When the two kidneys are failure, this process is able to work. Next one, the kidneys is it is a vital and a very important organs to all human bodies, and that factors like infections, when the two kidneys are not working completely, it is involved in several factors like infections, injury, blood pressure, high blood pressure, and if it is high blood sugars and restricted blood flows to the kidney. These several factors causes kidney failure. It is due to the accumulation of poisonous waste in the body, and it is leads to the death. Next, when both kidneys are damaged, this process is used. What is this process? This is the dialysis process. This process is called as hemodialysis. This process is called as hemodialysis. And then this process is blood is taken out from the main artery and it is mixed with anticoagulant, that is such as heparin, and then the blood is pumped into the apparatus that is called as dialyzer. Next, the nitrogenous waste are absent in the dialyzing fluid, and these substances are the blood moved freely, and it is by cleaning the blood its waste. This process is known as dialysis. Next, the cleaned blood. The cleaned blood is pumped back to the body through a vein. We add in the anticoagulant, that is the heparin. The vein is first, the blood is collected to the renal artery, and we add in the heparin, that is the anticoagulant, and the blood is filtered in this region, and next the blood is pumped back to the body through the renal vein. We add in anticoagulant. Next, the first kidney transplantation was performed by two identical twins in the year of 1954. The scientist's name was Charles Hoffengal. He was a surgeon in Washington, and the first kidney transplantation was done by 1st December in 1971 at the Christian Medical College, Vellore. That is the Tamil Nadu region. Next, other pathways of secretion. Lungs, skin, liver. These are all the whole specific functions but carry out excretion as the secondary function. Number one is the lungs. In respiratory process, the lungs remove carbon dioxide and water. In the respiration process, the lungs remove carbon dioxide and water. And next one is the skin. The skin is consists of large number of sweat glands. It is richly supplied in the blood capillaries and extract to the sweat and some metabolic ways. Next one is the sebaceous glands. It is present in skin. The sebaceous glands, the skin is eliminated to the sebum. The sebum contains waxes, sterols, and hydrocarbons and fatty acids. The sebaceous gland releases the sebum and it contains wax, sterols, and hydrocarbons and fatty acids. Next one is the liver. After the lifespan of 120 days, the RBC destroyed in the liver. What is the lifespan of RBC? The lifespan of RBC is 120 days. The 120 days is completed, the RBC will be destroyed. And it produces bile pigments like bilirubin and biliverdin and urochrome. The urochrome is present in urine. When the urine is yellow color, due to the presence of urochrome, that is the amber color. Next, the metabolic ways of hemoglobin of dead RBCs, the urochrome is eliminated to the urine. The urochrome is eliminated to the urine, and the liver is also involved in the formation of urine. The liver secreted bile pigments like bilirubin and biliverdin and urochrome. And the same function, the liver is also involved in the process of urine formation. And next one is the intestine. And the excess of salts, that means calcium, magnesium and iron, these are all the substances are excreted by epithelial cells of the colon. That is the large intestine. It is elimination along with the fecals. That means the human excretory product. And the same amount of the nitrogenous waste are also eliminated through the saliva and tears. Some waste are eliminated through the fecals and some waste are eliminated through the saliva and tears. Next, that is the tannins.
మేడం